videos today, so I figured I'd do one on how I seal my paintings. I kind of went back and forth on how I wanted to seal my acrylic paintings, and I tried doing it with the Liquitex. This one is a gloss medium and varnish, and I didn't care for how it looked. It was just too shiny to me. I didn't like all that shine on it. So I did a little research on what other people were using. You know, I also paint in watercolors as well, and I found out that there are people that are using this cold wax medium. This one is made by Gamblin. I got this at Hobby Lobby, I believe. I either got it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, so it's pretty readily available. And I really like this. It seals your painting. I've been using it on my acrylic paintings. I tried it on one or two, and I liked it. It gives it just a little bit of sheen, but not too much. You know, I just wasn't crazy about the high gloss, and I really thought I would like varnishing it with a gloss, but it turned out I didn't. So I gave this a try, and I really liked it. I'll show you one painting behind me that I've done, and I sealed it, and like I said, it's kind of a low sheen. I really wouldn't say it's a matte finish, because I can see a little bit of a sheen to it, and it's just enough, but it doesn't detract from the image. So I'm going to show you how I do it. It's super easy, and I really kind of like the process of doing this, and it seals it. It's archival. It is just a great product to use to seal your paintings. So if you're looking for a way to seal your paintings, this might be the answer right here. So once this is set and dry, after a few days or so, you know, I'll make sure that it's dry to the touch. It is ready to be mounted. If you want to mount your painting, such as this one here that I'm going to do. This one's on watercolor paper. It's an acrylic painting on watercolor paper. It's acrylic, it's charcoal, a little bit of oil stick in here. So I'm going to seal this whole painting with this right here, and once I'm ready, I can mount this on some board, and I can have it ready to hang on a wall. And this actually will make it I believe water resistant. I'll kind of just read the back here just so you know. Cold wax medium is an oil painting medium made from naturally white beeswax and Gamsol. Cold wax medium makes oil colors thicker and more matte. Cold wax medium can be applied as a matte varnish. So there it says it's a matte varnish, but I like it. I think it's not too dull, it's not too shiny. When using more than 1/3 cold wax to oil colors, we recommend painting on rigid supports. Add Gamblin Galkide mediums to increase flexibility. So you can actually mix this with your oil colors, is what a lot of painters use it for. But you can use it to seal your paintings as well. So I'm going to show you how I do that. All right, so I get the cold wax and get a sponge. Just a cheap little sponge that you can get just about any store. And I just get it and get a pretty good scoop right there. And before I do this, I make sure I have a brush here, and I go through and dust it off real good and everything. So, you know, make sure your area is clean and you don't see anything that's embedded into your painting. But you just get this and just start going to town. I like to do it in a circular motion. Just spread it evenly. It's kind of like waxing a car, really. I enjoy the process. Just get it on there. And you can see it. You can see where you have it. And I don't know if you can see there, but where I'm applying it versus where it's not. So A little goes a long way. So I'll just keep doing this. And I'll do it, you know, I'll put at least 2 coats. I'll put it on, let it set for a little while. Once I see that it's, I'll get a little more on there. Let's see, I put about that much there. Apply it to this side. And it's kind of like the Karate Kid, you know? You wax on, and then you're gonna wax off. So I'm gonna apply it to the whole thing. And once I feel like it's covered, now the great thing about this, what I forgot to mention is that before I do this, I spray a fixative on my paintings, okay? And the reason I do this is because I use charcoal on my paintings to add some different type of elements to it. This is what I use. This is what I recommend. It's called Spectrafix. It's the Degas Fixative. All natural, odor-free, original milk casing formula. Good for pastel, chalk, pencil, charcoal, oil, pastel, colored pencils. I really like this stuff. You can use it indoor, health safe. Okay, so you don't have to go outside and spray it. You don't have these horrible smelling fumes. It's good stuff. I mean, from what I understand, this was, I could be wrong, y'all, so do your fact checks, but I'm trying to look here. I've read that this was used way back in the day by Degas, and that's why it's called Degas. And I thought I read somewhere that this was used like on the Sistine Chapel or something like that. And that's a casing, this milk casing is what they use to fix paintings. And so anyways, this is what I spray on my painting. I'll give it a good, 2 to 3 coats of this. Let it dry between coats. And that's what I put on there. Then I go through with the wax, and I wax the whole thing. And the reason why I fix it first is because if you can see in this painting, I use charcoal. Do you see this? That's charcoal in there. Can you see this in here? This is charcoal. Okay, so I go in there with charcoal and an ebony pencil. And I put these little sketches in there because I just like to put those little elements in my paintings. I feel like it's not finished until I do that. It just does something for me, I guess. So those 2 scoops that I put on this sponge, I think is enough. So I'll keep waxing like this till I know that I've gone over the whole thing. And that fixative seals my charcoal into my painting so that when I go over it with this, see, it's not smudging, it's not erasing my charcoal lines. So if you do that kind of stuff in your work, you have to fix it first. And you can fix it with some of those other sprays, but man, they smell horrible. So I'm just kind of looking at it at an angle, and I can see, where I've applied it, and I still got it on here. It's still waxy on here. Now you can see that it is picking up some of probably the lead or whatever charcoal onto this, and that's why it's that color. I don't feel like it's degrading the image at all. You know, this is charcoal, this is pencil in here, and I'm pressing down pretty hard, and it's not, you know, it's not coming off. So it's super simple, you know. It may take a little more time. Well, I don't know. When I use the Liquitex stuff, you know, you gotta watch how you brush it on because it could leave lines. Now, when you touch this, see, there's at least fingerprints. So, you know, once you wax the whole thing, I have 2 sponges. So I'll let this sit for a while and let it just kind of absorb into the painting, and then I'll, you know, I can come back with this and wax off, wax on, wax off. Helps to get it even. Wax on, wax off. As simple as that. And like I said, I really enjoy the process. It protects your painting from water. You could spill water on this and it will not harm it. Now I have red. As you can imagine, this is wax. So if it's in a very hot environment, the wax melts, okay? It's not gonna ruin your painting. But over time, if you sell a painting, it's good to let your customer know that in order to take care of it, they can go, dust the painting off, get a soft rag, a soft lint-free rag or a soft sponge like this, and they could go and buff the painting, and it'll bring back that nice even sheen. Now, it's not something that you would have to do on a weekly basis. Just over time, it's something that you can go back and do to the painting, just to make sure that that wax stays on there evenly. So, I'm done with that. This one, I did a while back, and this one actually has some of that Liquitex on there, and I started to not like it. It was really shiny. You can see some of the gloss there. It was shinier than that. Let me see if you can see that. I did not like how glossy it was. So once it dried, I went back over it with the beeswax in it, and it took it down some. And so I'm happy with how it looks now. But before, yeah, this Liquitex, it just didn't work for me. I just didn't care for the glossy the way I thought I would. So this is what I'm using. I like it. You know, you can do a lot of other things with this too. I see some artists that paint with this, and it creates some amazing textures and different effects in the painting. So you might want to look into cold wax medium, and you can look it up on YouTube. There's several different videos showing what they do with it. You'll see some videos of watercolor artists that use this to seal their watercolor paintings, and then you don't have to put it behind glass. So that's a good thing about this. This doesn't have to go behind glass. I'll end up mounting this on some board, gluing it to board, and that way you can just hang it, just like you would hang a canvas painting. So that's why I like this, is you don't have to mount it behind glass if you use this. It protects it. It's good to go. So give this a try. Cold wax medium. Great to seal your watercolor paintings. Try this out as well. Spectrafix. If you use charcoal, lead, graphite in your paintings, you can use this. I'm not sure how good it is with pastels. I've heard some people say it's great. I've heard some people say that it dulls the pastels, so I don't have any experience with that. I mainly use it because of the charcoal that I use in my paintings, and I want to be able to seal my paintings with this and it not to smear, and so that's why I fix it with this, and then I seal with this. So I hope that helps out some of you all out there. I'll let this dry overnight, okay, so that it just kind of sets, and then I'll come back and just buff it, and I may even give it one more light coat. Well, I'll see. I think I actually covered it pretty good, you know. And you know, this painting, you know, it's got, I don't know if you can see that, but it, you know, there's some texture in there. So it didn't harm it at all. I got texture from the oil sticks and the acrylics. I got little charcoal elements in there. And so now it's sealed. Go check it out, y'all. Hope you like it.